Gritters, welcome to Freestyle Friday. There are no notes, no plan, no rules, and everything is fair game. There are no viewer questions this week, so I really am just winging it. You are about to be introduced to the fully unscripted and unguided version of me. Y'all better buckle up, because this is gonna be fun. We are officially in talk just to talk territory. This might go nowhere, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? So last night, I burnt my crescent rolls. And you're probably thinking, girl, you burn everything pizza, crescent rolls, whatever. I do burn a lot, okay? But it's not because I'm a bad cook. It's because I'm a busy mom that gets distracted. But I didn't actually burn the crescent rolls. They were just very golden brown. And they still got ate. Just throwing that out there. But they got burnt because I was going from my kiddos to my husband, my kiddos to my husband. It's like I was super popular last night. I mean, like, everybody needed me for something. Everybody needed to tell me something. I was just in high demand. And I kind of felt like an audience in my own house last night because I would go from the kids or a kid listening. No, oh, super cool. Then to my husband. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Good job. Oh, yeah. No, we should do that. Back to my kids. Back to my husband. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And somewhere in between all the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, when my timer went off, I didn't hear it. And my crescent rolls got a little bit more golden brown than they usually do. But anyway, it just got me thinking how sometimes we do end up audiences in our own house. I think I'm going to start holding press conferences. Like, I mean, obviously, I couldn't do it once a week. I'd have to do it every day. But at the end of every day, I hold a press conference. Each one of you get a limited number of questions and a time limit for discussions, kind of like in a courtroom. Opening and closing arguments, a lot of times they give them a time limit. I'm going to give you the time limit. You have the table. Lay it all out for me. I'm just kidding. I can't do that. But I'm not kidding about needing a reward for being the best daggum decoration in my house. Because that's what I feel like sometimes, decoration. And not even the kind that gets a lot of attention. Like, I'm the kind of decoration that you forgot to dust on top of that thing. Okay? Like, some days that's the kind of decoration I am. So I need a reward. A big one. But isn't it weird how, like, the older we get, the way we reward ourselves is like, it gets weirder and weirder. Like, now, almost 40, I reward myself like, I'm gonna get me a hot cup of coffee and I'm actually gonna sit down and drink it. Or, ooh, I did this, and this, all the laundry done. I just hang up the laundry. I'm getting me a treat. I'm getting me a snack. Now, being diabetic, that either means a zero sugar Reese's, and I can't even have, you know, a reasonable number of 45 like I want. I can only have like two, but I still get my Reese's. Yes, I call them Reese's. I don't really know why. Somebody in my life had called them Reese's, and it just like stuck with me. It's just one of them things. Like, that's what we call it. And like Walmart's, it's not Walmart. It's Walmart's. Why? Why? I don't know. And what a burger? It's not what a burger. It's Waterburger. Why? It's maybe it's just a South thing, like a hick thing. I don't know. And I don't always feel like I have like this strong Southern drawn accent, or like I don't feel like I sound like I come from Hickville. But then, like when I started college, I went to college. God, this was years ago. But I went to college and I have jeans and a button up shirt. And back then they were called chukkas, the lace up leather boots and a belt. And they were like, oh my God, look at you, country girl. You got cows and a chicken. I'm like, this is what everybody wears. What are y'all talking about? And then, oh Lord, if I said daddy, that was over exaggerated. But if I'm like, my daddy, maybe that wasn't over exaggerated. They're like, oh my gosh, my daddy, my daddy. That's my daddy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm almost 40. He's still my daddy. But apparently, I have a very thick accent, and so I apologize for that. Or maybe I don't apologize for that because I'm kind of proud of that. I'm Texas proud. But I kind of went on a tangent there. What was we talking about? Oh, how we reward our stuff. Ourselves, not our stuff, ourselves. Like a snack, coffee, a quiet time. It's way different from how we used to be when we were kids. But it's not only our rewards that change, our opinions of stuff change. Like over crazy stuff. Does anybody else get mad when the grocery store changes the layout? Like, bread used to be on aisle 6 and now it's on, like, what is this? Why? And why is it that we gotta put Valentine's Day stuff out in January? Okay? I'm gonna forget. It's gonna sneak up on me. I don't need you to have it out in January. You could put it out 4 days before. We're good. That's when I'm gonna remember. I am so thankful that my husband is one of those men who are like, because we own our own business, he buys tools all year long. But he's like, I get whatever I want all year long, and so I don't need anything. And it is so hard to buy for this man because all he wants is tools. And for the first 2 or 3 years, I was like, I refuse to buy tools. I'm not doing that. I need something else that's your hobby. So now we're limited to the grill or tools. So for birthdays, we've started a tradition. You get a gift card. I get a gift card. He gets a gift card. Everybody's happy. Except for I usually use my gift cards for the kids, the house, or something else. And that man, he'll hang on to a gift card like he's rich. I'm like, boy, you know we broke. You ain't got no money. Why that gift card still sitting on your nightstand? Sits there too long, I claim it. Not that I use it for myself, but that's a whole nother thing. Why are we like that as moms? Like, why is it so hard to buy for ourselves? I don't have a problem making it rain for my kids or things we need for the house. Well, that's not so true because I budget like it is nobody's business for the house. Like I'll cut back here, cut back there, do whatever to try to save a penny or a nickel because I don't buy things based on price. Like I'm not that type of. I'm not paying $80 for a pair of pants. Like I just ain't. I get my pants resale. I can't do it. And my husband's like, we need to go take you to get pants. And I'm like, no, we don't. I have Poshmark. I make my bundles. I make my offers. I get my pants. And I don't think I've ever paid more than $10 for a pair of pants. I just haven't. I just don't see the point in it. So one time I got 11 pair of jeans for $60. We're not going to talk about the fact that 2 months later I didn't fit in any of these jeans because I went up 2 sizes and had to put them in the giveaway pile. But yeah, we're not going to talk about that part. But anyway, it was a good deal. Just kind of sucks that didn't really get to enjoy that deal for very long. But I was on a roll here and then I went off on a tangent because we was talking about our rewards and how they change. And I had a thought because it's not just like our rewards and how they change and our opinions and stuff like that, but we get excited over different things now than what we used to. Like, did you ever think you were going to get excited over a vacuum cleaner that had special cool attachments? I did. Okay, and like my walls in our house are like shiplap board. It's super rustic, super country, super cool. Everybody loves our house. My husband built our house. But as a lady who, I think lady might be a stretch, as a woman who grew up with a mom who literally deep cleaned everything, washed the walls, and like did all this stuff, I absolutely hate that I cannot wash the walls in every room of my house. Like, that has, I just can't. So, my vacuum cleaner that I got super excited about has this little attachment that gets narrow at the end with like a, I don't even know how to explain this to you, but it has like a little nook in it. And it fits perfectly in between the boards on the walls in my living room, which is shiplap, because the dust collects in that little bitty tiny inch of a divot where them two boards meet. And although it looks super duper cool, it's a pain in the behind because it's hard to clean. You can't just sweep it down with a broom because it's so rustic that it just doesn't clean that way. But I got super excited because my vacuum had a super cool attachment to it. So now once a month, I take my little vacuum and I go all over the house or all over the living room because that's one of the only well, that and the master bedroom that has those boards. So I go all through there, vacuuming each one of the little corners out, and I got a little step ladder and I go up because I'm pretty short, so I gotta start from the bottom and go up, and then get my step ladder to meet the top. Just say, if you want rustic designs, it comes at a cost. And I'm super proud of my husband because our house is super cool and super rustic. But in terms of super easy to clean, it's really not that hard. I just like complaining because I don't like having to use the vacuum cleaner to do that. I mean, I was excited for like the first week or two, but then, I got over it. And then I went to complaining again because I'm a woman and we're never satisfied. But yeah, I got excited over my vacuum cleaner and over sponges. Like, I'm picky about my sponges, which, okay, so I'm the dishwasher at our house. We don't have a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher. And sometimes it goes on the fritz, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm very picky about my sponges that I use to wash my dishes. But my husband is a rag guy. Like, when he washes dishes, he wants the little, like, dish rags with the scrubber on the back. He's like, where are all the rags at to wash the dishes? I'm like, yeah, they disappeared over 5 years ago when I started washing your dishes because I don't use a rag. I use a sponge. And then I had to get this whole lecture because the man Googles everything. And he's like, well, sponges hold bacteria. I was like, look, I'm not a nasty person. This sponge gets bleached, okay? I don't use it for a month. I don't use it forever and a day. I use it for a couple weeks. I bleach it. It gets retired, okay? Because I don't buy this expensive sponges, all right? It's like $1 for a pack of 8, okay? It's fine. But my sponges get bleached too because I wash my dishes with bleach. Don't even get me started on that. My husband's like, why is the Dawn white? Because it has bleach in it. Well, I don't want to use the one with bleach. Okay, hero, pick up the blue one. That one's regular. The white one has bleach in it. I wash dishes with bleach. I make sure everything's clean. I have blown his mind because he's like, the man was married for 12 years, okay? I thought he would be clued in on a lot of these things, but he's like, I don't understand why you do it. I'm like, well, I have to do this because, like, what are you doing with this? Why you got everything? Because I'm cleaning the baseboards. They have to be clean too. Well, what about this? I'm like, yeah, that's got to be clean too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. I thought he was going to, like, the first, I don't know, like, month that we were together, I was here one night and I'm in the kitchen and I don't know, all the kids were busy and he was just chilling. I started cleaning his icebox. He was freaking out. He was taking pictures of me, sending them to his mom, like, look what she's doing over here. I'm cleaning the icebox. Like, I don't know. I blew his mind. That's a whole nother can of worms. Probably shouldn't be opened here on this one. But maybe one day we can vent in that lane. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. Pick over my sponges. Oh, and the back to the sponge thing. We're gonna go here. And my husband. Okay. So has anybody ever watched that show Tool Time? Okay. Well, I feel like Jill. And I don't know if I got this from my mom or if maybe watching that show as a kid, this just stuck with me all those years ago somehow in the back of my mind subconsciously, and I just never even realized it. But on this show, there's an episode where Tim is going to use a sponge or something. I don't really remember what happens. But Jill's telling him, you can't use that sponge because, the green one is for the dishes and the yellow one's for the countertops and then the green ones and then the blue ones for the floors. And he's like, okay, well, how did you come up with that? Or something like that. And she's telling him, well, the dishes sponge gets demoted to a counter sponge. And then the counter sponge gets demoted to the floor sponge. And then he's like, okay, so floor is blue, counter is green, dishes is yellow. No, 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 no. It's not color coded. It could be any color. Whatever I pull out next is going to be the dishes. It just start, and he's like, oh my God, I don't get this. Yeah, I don't know how we keep up with that stuff either. But does anybody else do their sponges like Jill? Because I do that. I have a fourth step though. It goes dishes, countertops, floors, toilet, shower. Or shower, then toilet. I don't know. I use a sponge for everything. And, but once they get demoted to the bathroom sponge, you use them once, you throw them away. Because by then, you're doing more of the scrubbing in the shower than the sponge is. So I get my dollar out of that sponge though. And is anybody else obsessed with chapstick? Do we get weird obsessions as we grow older? Like Lisa Frank, we just thought that was bad. Oh no, you give me chapstick and a hoodie, and I'm your friend forever. And I don't just have one tube of chapstick. I wish you could buy that stuff by the box. I have chapstick everywhere. I have hoodies like it is nobody's business. It's like my husband asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I'm like, a hoodie. And he's like, you got hoodies. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have a true crime hoodie. Now I do. But I love hoodies and t-shirts. And I don't even care what the t-shirts say. I'll go to the resale shop and buy t-shirts. I don't care. Half of them's going to be bleached anyway. I'm not going out anywhere. They're going to be bleached because I'm cleaning in them. So why pay $15 or more, $30 for a shirt that I'm going to bleach anyway? So I get them for the resale shop. And then if they get bleached, I don't get mad. Now, I do get some really cool ones from Buc-ee's because I don't know if anybody is familiar with Buc-ee's, but if you're in Texas, then you are. But it's almost like a tradition. Date night, my husband takes me to eat, and we go to Buc-ee's, and I get two shirts. It's like written. It's just there, it happens. That's how you know you're old. When you're excited to go to Buc-ee's and get a shirt. When we were dating before he used to work off, but before we he went full blown into like our own company, he would work off all the time. He was gone all the time when we were dating. But he would always have to pass a Buc-ee's. So he would just bring me shirts. Like, two times a month I would get a shirt. So then when we went, once we engaged, got married, and all that stuff, and then we went from him working for somebody else to him going back to his own business. He didn't travel like he used to. He's local now, and most of the time he's at home, which is awesome. So, pros and cons. He's here every day. I don't have to worry about him on the road late at night or driving when he's super, super tired. And I don't have to be super, super tired because I stayed up all night waiting on him to make it home. But he's here every day. He comes in for lunch. He like, so then you automatically feel obligated to be doing something, like, or preparing a lunch for him, or this and that. And like, we homeschool. So sometimes we'll make a lunch, or sometimes it's just kind of like, okay, it's lunchtime, let's go eat. Or sometimes we just get through with our schoolwork and then we're done for the day, and it's kind of like a fend for yourself for lunch type of thing. And it never fails, this man's gonna come in to eat when we're right in the middle of something. And then my son's like, ooh, break time, dad's eating lunch. Because dad watches his crime videos while he eats lunch too, on volume 75. I'm blessed. I am blessed. But back to my obsession. Do you guys have any obsessions? Coffee cup? Anything like that? I have coffee cup obsessions too. I have a lot of obsessions. Hmm. I don't know when this became like my personality, but here we are. This is me. Hoodie, chapstick. Ooh, and the cups. Not the like the Stanley cups, because just so y'all know, I was a Stanley girl before Stanley was cool, because I had a Stanley thermos. I mean, it's all about the coffee over here. And then all these girls with Stanley. Girl, Stanley been cool for a long time, but just not for y'all, because they didn't have all these creative stuff. Like, it was simple. Plain Jane. But if you think I talk a lot outside, you should be in my head. Because the internal commentary that is in my head, like, all day long. Full blown conversations. Please tell me that I'm not the only one that is like that. Full blown conversations. Not to mention my very own playlist. So I can jam out or I can talk about. Doesn't really matter, but there's always something going on in there. And there's always a song in my head, like, all the time. Sometimes it's the same song for like 2 or 3 days, and then sometimes it changes. I don't get that. Is that like is that like something that happens when we get older? I don't know. It's very highly possible that I am undiagnosed ADD. I really feel like I am. But those conversations are important. They're important. Ooh, side note before I forget. Okay, so we did away with the Thursdays for now. And we're just going to kind of leave that open. And maybe once a month I'll do the recipe thing. But I had a thought. Okay. Who or how would y'all feel if we did like a true crime Thursday? Not every week. Just like every once in a while we throw it in a true crime Thursday. No promises. I'm just curious. Would anybody be interested in that? I mean, Uncle Google gets a lot of people, and sometimes it's very interesting. Speaking of Google, okay, the last thing I Googled was, what was it? Oh, it was the game sharing thing, how to do that for my kiddos. But for real though, if anybody ever pulled my Google searches, I mean, we could go from these are my symptoms, I think I'm dying, looking up like WebMD or something, or just some crazy something that I done watched a podcast, a true crime podcast, and I don't know what this means. So now I gotta look it up. And now Google thinks I'm trying to plan something illegal. And all I was looking for was a definition, because they done said something in court, or they done said something on a true crime podcast, and I didn't really know what it meant. So I wrote it down and I looked it up later. And then you gotta be careful what you be looking up on Google. I'm just saying. Check your spelling and context. It matters, my friends. And you better be ready. Something ever happens and they investigate. I got a log going. January 27th at 9:32 p.m. I asked Google this, but here's why I asked him. And oh my gosh, all these things, they like, well, he had 4 different email accounts. Oh, brother, I got an email account just for our internet because I had to create an email account so that I could change the password because nobody could remember the oddball thing and the 57 numbers that went to the end of it. So I created a thing, created our internet's own password. That way, not for the internet, but I mean that's how I see it because that's all it's for. But so if somebody wants to log into this or this or this, we have a guest account for all these different things that everybody needs to log into when they come in our house. So we have a guest account. I have a personal email that I've had for years. I also have the very first email I ever had in my life. Still getting emails there. That's 3 already. Each one of my kids has an email. Then I have a business email. And then I have an email for Poshmark. And then why? Like, y'all don't be looking at my emails. It don't mean nothing. It just means I'm getting old and I forget. And sometimes it'll only let you link 1 or 2 things to an email and you need to link it to a different account. Well, brother, my husband can't remember nothing, so I'm gonna have to have that email on my phone so I can link it. So now I gotta have a whole nother email just to link the same 2 things to the same 2 things, but it won't let me do it with my email. Why? Like Cash App. Got my kids' Cash App cards. I have a Cash App. First kid, my phone, my email. Second kid, different email. I had too many logged on the thing. I'm like, what? Yeah. And don't get me started on somebody had this phone number before me, even though I've had it for years. And I'm still getting calls. And every time I try to go get my rewards, they're trying to give it to somebody else. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not me. Let's update that email to match that phone number because I want my points, Susie. Okay? I need my 10 cents off a gallon when I reach 100 points on my Murphy's. And does anybody else rev it? Because every week I'm revving it. I'm getting something else. 7-Eleven, got a number. Exxon, got a number. Murphy's Drive-In, got a number. Berkshire Brothers, number. Bales, number. Dollar Store, number. I put my number in everywhere. I save dollars everywhere I can. My husband thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, you better learn my number. Put it in there. It's crazy business. What was the last thing you Googled? I don't know why I just thought about that. Probably should have asked that a while ago, but yeah. Y'all figure out what you Googled yet? You're thinking about it, aren't you? You're like, dang, what did I Google? Did I Google if I could mix bleach with Lysol cleaner? Did I Google if you could mix? That's what I'm always Googling. What can you mix bleach with? Because not everything tells you if it's safe. And good Lord, I made a mistake one time and I'll never do that again. Never. My brain. Right now, my brain is blank, but my brain will not shut off when it's time to like lay down and go to sleep. I just can't. I don't know why. It's like every time I lay down and go to sleep, I think about like a million things that I need to do, that I could to do, or I don't know. It doesn't shut off. It's yeah, and for whatever reason, it makes me feel productive to like run all these things through my head. But I'm not. I'm not productive. It's just craziness is what it is. It's craziness. All right, guys, I am going to have to get ready to close up shop for today because if not, then I'm going to start going in circles. But if you will indulge me for just a moment before we head out of here and get started on the remaining bit of our weekend, I want to ask everyone to do me a favor. I want to ask everyone if you can keep Nancy Guthrie and her family in our thoughts and prayers. As we get older, things affect us differently, and some things in the news just stick with us and touches our heart in a way that we can't always explain. But obviously, I do not know this woman, and I don't even know her daughter. I'm not even familiar with any of her daughter's work. Her daughter is Samantha Guthrie. But Nancy, who is 84 years old, has been missing from her home in Tucson, Arizona since the evening of January 31st. Now, authorities believe that foul play is involved, and due to the evidence found in the home, law enforcement is not treating this as a regular missing person case. They're treating it as a possible abduction. The FBI has joined in the search, and there is a $50,000 reward for any credible information that leads to her recovery or an arrest. I don't know if you've been following this story, but there have been multiple ransom notes reported. Although, as far as I know, none have been confirmed as authentic. But we do know that one individual has been arrested for sending a fake ransom note that was totally unrelated to the actual abduction, alleged abduction of Nancy Guthrie. And as of now, there have been no suspects or persons of interest named, but the investigation is ongoing and there is still hope. Savannah Guthrie and her siblings have made very emotional, heartbreaking pleas to the public, asking for prayers and asking whoever may be holding their mom, Nancy, to make contact. Brian Eaton is a reporter who is boots on the ground. He's pretty awesome. He brings daily updates on this case. So I encourage you that if you're interested and you want more information than I can give you to you today, to follow him on YouTube at Brian Eaton Investigates. The family has described Nancy as being mentally alert. She's smart and very witty, but physically vulnerable and in need of daily medication, making this particular situation urgent. I know it's hard to think about casual fun hangout topics while such sad news is going on, but we've said it before. Laughter doesn't erase the hard. It allows us to breathe through it. So I want to thank you for indulging me a moment to bring awareness to this case that has touched my heart because I just can't fathom what this family is going through. But if you wouldn't mind indulging me just a bit more, I'd like to have a moment of silence, not only for Nancy, but for her family and everyone involved in this case. I'd like to have this moment of silence before moving on and ending this podcast. I invite you to stay with me for that. Thank you again for indulging me in this. I appreciate everyone being here today, and I will see you guys next time.